testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me? Test. Hello guys, and welcome back to OFR GTS. We have started the second season for GTS now. We're in the pre-season race today, where our fastest drivers in Division 1 are going to be testing out their new cars. This is the first time I've seen their cars, the first time we've seen their livery too, so it's going to be a spectacle. To be honest, I don't even know what some of these cars are, so I'm going to have to be learning these as we go along. Now, a few updates this season. We have actually split our two divisions into two separate divisions, so there's no more official sister teams, there's no cross-division teams or anything like that. We do have all of the fastest guys in Division 1, and we have the mid-paced guys in Division 2. Now, we've got the Division 2 race next, but I'll go over the Division 1 lineup so far. We've got a very interesting lineup now. Team Default, we all know they won both the Drivers' Championship, Shane did, and the Constructors' Championship last season. They've kept their name, Team Default. They've still got Shane, they've still got Rumour, but surprise, surprise, due to some drama that kicked off in the middle of the season between Spinorama's team captain, Lika, and one of his drivers, Atomic, a super fast driver, possibly the third fastest on the grid, has now joined Team Default, a power team if we ever saw one. Moving down, Spinorama has changed to the Spinorama Pro team. That's going to have Lika as a team captain again. Racer Tay taking up a permanent spot there, replacing Havoc, I believe. And Vilsec is taking up the third spot there as well. Another great team to look out for this season. Next, we've got the Tag Her Phoenix Race Lab also retaining their name. We've got Jan, Castle, and Iceman Kimmy. Same drivers as the last time, minus Tom, who's going to be in Division 2, I believe, this season. And then we've got Raven West. That's the rebranding of the Rich Energy Golden Arrows. That's Maximus team captain with Astro and Havoc racing there as well. Now, in the final one I'm going to read out, nothing to do with the actual order of how fast these drivers are the traditional Bock and Calls car. They've kept their name, they've changed their livery, and they will still retain Bagpuss, Mary, and Platypus as well. So they're all racing today in the D1 pre-season test. They've picked their cars, they're just going to the track to see what type of pace they have. They can work on their setups, get a better feel for the car. They're not allowed to race these cars during the off-season, just like real FIA rules, you see, to make sure there's no competition. What's the word I'm looking for? Any biased competition during the season. But all we know is that these guys have only put on a few laps. You can see here, for example, Atomic's only put on 24.6 laps professionally in this car, or 24 kilometers. I'm not entirely sure what that is. But anyway, it's going to be a hell of a season, and the final is going to be starting in around 6 seconds. So Gwendolyn actually picked the starting grid here today, so it's completely random, and hopefully we're going to see a great race. Now, I'm not sure if this is the practice start or not, but let me just quickly check in Discord, see if I can see anything. I think this is the practice start. If it's not, I apologise, but you can see the lineup there. We've only got 12 drivers with us today, 3 of us, which is a commitment. But there's all the cars that they have as well. Nice lineup of cars there. We've got, let's have it again. We've got Jan's in. Jan has actually retained the Porsche for the Tag Heuer Phoenix Race Lab there. Astro's in this. Mika, Spinorama have picked up the AMG, very nice to see. And Shane's team, Default, have gone with the Mustang. So a very, very wide variety. Vilsec, I hope that's better. I hope you can hear me. Vilsec, why aren't you racing? This is not good to see. But I think Max has been stuck again, and he might not be able to race. But we are racing here today in the preseason in the Catalunya. It's a clockwise circuit. We raced this in F1 a few seasons ago. I think we might have raced this in GTS last season. I can't quite remember, but it is a very, very good track. It's got 15 corners, a very long straight at the beginning, some nice overtaking opportunities throughout the entire track as well. In F1 we have the 2 DRS zones here. Of course you don't have that with these GR3 cars, but the slipstream, it will work out for a few of these guys. Vilsec saying that he hasn't practiced at all, so he didn't want to mess anyone up. Well, Vilsec, you need to get your priorities sorted out, my friend. I'm joking. So I've just got word from the admin Bagpuss that Max has been stuck again, unfortunately. This is the stupid stuck glitch that GTS just haven't fixed for the past 7 years. let's hope Max can rejoin the race, because I'm sure he wants to get that Toyota out on track and push it to its limits. I'm going to be alone in the commentary box today. I imagine it's not going to be as exciting, sorry, I won't be as excited as I usually am when the season starts. That's because I'm very tired today. I've got a practice session and a real race later today as well, and then I've got to commentate the Formula 1 Division 1 pre-season race later today, so I'm just trying to conserve as much energy as possible here. Max is going to be starting at the back just in case he does get stuck in, so he won't affect any of the drivers. I think that's the best move there, and now we're just going to wait patiently for this race to start. So thanks to everyone who's joined us in the chat so far. We've got Vilset, we've got Fred, we've got Robbo, we've got Ash. Thank you all. Make sure you like this stream if you haven't already. It would really help us out. And we're just waiting for the race to start now. So one more thing to also point out is that this season we've changed the assist slightly. So the only assist they're actually allowed, I believe, is ABS. Because I suppose the kind of cars that they're driving do have them in real life. So we're allowing that to happen here. We've got Racer Tay. He's left the room, unfortunately. Not sure what's going on there. But we've also increased the mechanical damage to heavy this time as well. So last season we saw when drivers were crashing into each other and stuff, they would have temporary damage that would rectify itself after a few corners. But now, when the driver gets damaged, they're going to have to come straight into the pits because they're going to be losing seconds and seconds a lap. It's really easy to get damage as well. One punt to the side will not only ruin the axles of the car that you hit, but also ruin your front bumper, your front axle. And yeah, you're going to have to come into the pit. You're going to get some heavy vibration in the steering wheel if you're using it, or in the controller if not, and it's just not going to be drivable. We're going to see a lot more strategy changes. They're also not allowed to use the super soft tyres here in this season as well. They have to use at least 2 compounds, I think, and they're only allowed to race with the soft, medium, or hard. So that's going to spice up the pit strategy as well. And I believe we have a 3 times tyre where 6 times fuel depletion this season as well, so it's just altered slightly from last season, and that's just to make the races a bit more dependent on the pit stops, so see more battles coming in and out of the pits and stuff like that, and it will also allow people to take a lot of different strategies, because last season we saw that everyone kept taking the same strategy and nothing really was happening in the pits. Race Day has rejoined now. Hopefully we can get this race started again. Sorry for the delay, but GTS isn't the kindest of games for network issues. Ash is correcting me there, thank you. It's actually, we've got 6 times tyre wear and 3 times, 6 times tyre multiplier for the wear and a 3 times multiplier for the fuel consumption. So thanks for correcting me, Ash. Yeah, hopefully this will add a new dynamic element to this race in this entire season. We have exactly the same in Division 2 that's starting in around an hour's time as well. Make sure you tune into that. And then 30 minutes after that finishes, we've got the main event of Formula 1, which is the pre-season Division 1 race here. Max is rejoined now as well. Let's hope this is the last time, and let's get this race started. 25 laps they're going to be doing here around this clockwise 16-corner circuit. Plenty of opportunities to overtake, plenty of gravel traps to ruin someone's race, and plenty of manoeuvres where drivers can hit each other and forced to the pits in order to repair their damage, adding an approximately, I think it's around 5-second additional pit stop time there, because if you have to spend time fixing that, and if they are playing around with fuel and things, it's actually might be added to the time, so definitely. It'd be nice to get some predictions of who you think is going to win. We've got Shane starting near the back, we've got Lee starting near the back as well, so these 2 guys are fast and they're going to have a lot to do if they want to get back into first place. The final has started and away we go. So there you can see all of the cars lined up. Let's just quickly go through the lineup. We've got Havoc, Platypus, Bagpuss, Iceman, Kimi, Jan, Astro, Racer Say, Shane, Atomic, Castle, Vika, and Maximus. 5 different cars on the grid today. So nice to see more diverse manufacturers here. And we're just wrapping up now. We're going to ride on board with Havoc. He's going to be leading. Let's look at those lights. You can see he's trying to hover it around just under 9,000 revs here. That's the green light, and we're actually away already. So he actually doesn't get a pretty decent start, because you can see already that Platypus is already taking the lead in his Volkswagen Beetle there. Look at that mighty car powering away down the straight. He's been taken by 2 guys already as they go into turn 1. Now let's hope there's no contact here, because we know, we've got to punt by some of these guys here. Let's get that telemetry back up to see if anyone is in trouble. Moving down the grid slightly, we've got a bit of a front bumper issue with Iceman Kimmy there in the Tag Heuer Phoenix Race Lab. I'm not sure if that's going to be affecting his action at all, because the wheels do actually look fine. We're only getting some aerodynamic issues. I believe he needs to be careful, because that will affect his top speed, I suppose. Now I'm going to move back down to Jan, who he's also got the same amount of damage on his front bumper as well. A lot of contact there in the first corner of the race. It is a tricky one. It's a downhill, sharp right-hander that is really easy to late brake for, but that makes it also easy to run into the driver in front of you. But it looks okay for these guys so far. Bagpuss out of nowhere is taking the lead. Racer Tay is now in second. I'm not sure what happened to Platypus. He's down in 5th place right now, but Bagpuss in that mighty Beetle there is doing a hell of a job. Leading on lap 1. He's got Racer Tate right behind him in that Spinorama though. Spinorama looking very Patronus out there. He's got stickers all over the place. But it's a very attractive car. He's chasing him. He's going to look down the inside as they go up to the hairpin at turn 10. He is looking. He has broke a little bit later. You can see the change in the front of the car dropping down a little bit later because of all of the weight transferring to the front. It is slightly downhill as well, and he's now taking the lead. So this could be Racer Tate's first win of the pre-season, putting Spinorama Pro, I beg your pardon, on the front foot here. He's doing a pretty good job. He's getting a little bit scruffy, but other than that, it's okay. Now I'm going to drop down to 3rd place. Iceman Kimmy, never one to just drop back. He is always putting in these phenomenal lap times. He is a race winner, of course, and he is one to look out for this season in that new Tag Heuer Phoenix Race Lab livery. Absolutely beautiful to see as well. He's in 3rd place now, trailing Bagpuss. He's just 2 tenths behind. Let's jump to the onboard and see if he can gain him. You can see he's getting a bit of a toe here, not too much though. Is he going to be able to do it? He's got the inside. Bagpuss may try to outbrake him. Iceman Kimmy goes... That's fine, that's fine. Bagpuss got a little bit deeper, and now Iceman Kimmy has got the racing line and he's ahead. Good job there. Bagpuss is not going to let him get away though. As you can see here, he is still fighting hard. Now I'm going to jump down to around 8th place. I can see a big 3-way battle going on now for 6th. It's between Astro, Atomic and Castle. Atomic is definitely one of the ones you want to keep your eye on the most this season. He's a new driver, he's in a new team, and he wants to show Spinorama Pro what he's all about after being dropped from that team. Allegedly, let's just say allegedly. But he is doing a pretty decent job so far. He's moved up to 8th place. He's side by side with Castle right now. He's looking to outbrake in that Mustang. It looks like the Porsche just got that better rotation on the front, allowing Castle to just get through that corner a lot cleaner and accelerate earlier as he pulls out. They're just coming up to turns 7 and 8 here. Really tricky part of the track. It's a bit of an adverse camber as you enter, and then it switches to the opposite direction once you get out of that corner, and it does really twist that car in a way that you don't really want it to, and it's very easy to lose the rear there. But it looks like they're doing okay. Castle's looking down the inside on Astro, but he's not going to get him yet. Astro's in that Toyota car. I'm not sure the model. If someone could help me out, that would be great. But I'm just going to jump back up to 1st and see how Racer Tay is getting on. He's 2.3 seconds ahead. Iceman Kimmy is just 1.1 ahead of Bagpuss. Now Bagpuss doing all he can to hold on to 3rd place, but he does have the Tag Heuer Phoenix Race Lab of Jan right behind him, as Jan takes a mighty amount of that chicane. It almost looks like he was going to flip his car there. Going to jump down to this battle for 6th again, because Castle is really pressuring Astro here. Not seen much from the default guys yet either. I wonder how long it's going to take them to get up to speed. We've got the Mustang there. I think that's Atomic. And let's see where Racer Tay is actually. So Platypus is all the way down in 12th now. Shane is in 11th. He's not getting on well with that car so far. I'm not sure if he had damage. Oh, he has. He's got, you can see there in the bottom left-hand side of the screen, he's got some wheel damage. I'm not sure if that will be the track rod or the axle rod or just aerodynamic stuff, but he might be struggling with that damage and he may have to pit soon. We've got someone in the pits as well. It's Platypus. He probably had some damage as well, but I'm going to jump back up to 8th now just to see how Atomic's getting on. I'll stick with Castle and Astro. I think they're the closest looking at the track map. It would help if we could see all of the different times, the deltas between drivers, but we can't, unfortunately. So I will stick with these guys for now. I must say that Raven West livery, that is absolutely beautiful. It looks like a Batmobile. Very sleek. It looks like it's painted with matte paint as well. Very modern design. It's nice to see. So let's see how the front runners are getting on again. Racer Tay's increased his gap to 2.8 seconds now. Iceman Kimi is pulling away from Bagpuss, 1.6 seconds ahead now, and Jan is closing on Bagpuss. Jan has a penalty though, he's got 0.3 of a second penalty, I'm not sure what that was for, and his front bumper is still flashing, so he still has some issues with the front of his car. I wonder how that's going to affect him in the third sector, where you need as much front end as possible to get through this off-camber right-hander there at turn 12, and you're going to need it even more as you begin this downhill descent all the way through the chicane at 14 and 15. He looks pretty stable though, he looks like he's getting on okay, and he's coming around the final corner now. Yeah, he's not too bad. Racete extending again, almost at 3 seconds now. I'm going to jump back to the back of the grid and see how they're getting on there. Platypus running in 12th place right now in that Volkswagen car. Nice livery. It looks metallic purple unless my eyes deceive me. And he's drifting slightly. He's coming out of the hairpin at turn 10 there. I suppose that car's a front-wheel drive car. Again, someone please correct me if I'm wrong. But it's looking fairly stable around here. So we're just under a fifth of the way through. We're still got in 8th place now. Because these drivers are in different cars, we do have balance of performance on. But I think what we're seeing here is that the cars, of course, balance of performance is on, but they will handle differently. You can set them up differently like you could when they all have the Porsche, but it's going to be a lot different in terms of the actual feel of the drive. And that's going to change when you go to track to track. Some cars might be better at some tracks, and that might be worse at others. And I think what we're seeing here is the feel being neutralised almost by this changing car, because we're not seeing the fastest drivers get up to the top from the back. We used to see Shane jumping 5 or 6 places in the first 5 laps. He's not done that today. We've got Atomic not making as quick a move as we would expect on Astro and Castle. I think he is a little bit quicker than both of those. And again, this might just be now that they all have different cars. They require a different amount of skill, and it's not just the fastest for the same car, it's the fastest in the car that they're in. So it's going to be a very interesting season. Let's hope it keeps up. So if you guys are watching, who do you think has the best livery so far? I think these are the final liveries, so they won't be able to change it yet. And I'm also just going to jump to Shane, because apparently he's running some golden wing mirrors. Yeah, you can see there he's got the golden wing mirrors, because of course he is champion of the world after he won GTS Season 1. And he's coined that with his golden wing mirrors on his car. Very, very nice to see. He doesn't don the number 1, however, because the number 1 in OFR goes to the most valuable player of the season. And that was actually Grubbs, one of our D2 drivers in F1, and a new D2 driver in GTS as well. We got Martin saying that he's still liking the default Mustang. Yeah, it's a very pretty car. They've done a really decent job. It's a very similar livery to what they had last season on the Porsche GR3, sorry. RSR is the word I was looking for. Initialism I was looking for. I'm going to shut up. Right. Yeah, it's a very nice livery. Right now, I think it's going to go to Raven West. I don't know why, but I am really, really liking that car. Let's just see if we can get another look at it. I think Astro's the one. It just looks so sleek. I wonder if that's going to disadvantage them when they do go to the dark tracks, though, because we really want metallic paint with the dark tracks to see those lights reflecting off the metallic tiny bits of metal in the paint. You're not really going to see that with that matte paint. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait for a night race, actually. It's very unlikely this season, so I think only 3 of the tracks can allow a night race, and then Gwendolyn's going to choose it. She may not even choose it. So let's have our fingers crossed and hope that works out. We've got Fred saying that the Phoenix tag looks good. It does. I think it looks a lot better than last season, actually. These kind of lines, these triangle lines that they have going on look very nice. And he's also saying the Spinorama Pro team looks good as well. Well, let's have a look at that Spinorama of Racete. He's 3 seconds ahead of Iceman Kimi right now. You're right, it does look good. When I first saw it, they only kind of showed it as with a very low exposure, so you couldn't quite see, and I was sure that they were going to go for another bright green car, but the way they've contrasted this really dark undertone here with this bright green Petronas stickers everywhere, it makes it just beam. It looks absolutely fantastic. But yeah, solid car for them. They're in the Mercedes AMG, and he's leading by 2 points. Oh, he's lost 0.2 of a second just as I was praising his livery. I think you need to thank Racete for that livery as well. I think he designed and made it, so good job, Racete. Let's hope we can hold on to that win there. But you do have Iceman Kimi chasing you. He's got a penalty, 0.4 of a second penalty that he needs to serve. So maybe that gap was because he was at the corner or something. I'm not entirely sure. But when he serves that, it should neutralise and get back up to 3 seconds. Now I'm going to jump down the field quickly and see how everyone else is getting on. We're going to see a battle between Jan for six, battle for six, sorry. Atomic is looking to make a move on Jan. Jan's drifting through, where are we, turn 5. And Atomic is not as fast as I would have expected it to be either. Sorry, I'll move the microphone a little bit closer to my mouth. Let me know if that's a little bit better, VR. Good to have you with us. Shame that we're not going to see you racing next race in D2. But hope to see you in D1. I think you're filling a spot for Super Bounty in D1 F1 later on today, so make sure you guys tune in for that. It'd be great to see him go up against the D1 guys. He had a very, very good race yesterday. Got a bit unlucky towards the end with a few contact with one of the drivers that pushed him off track, unfortunately. But we'll have to wait to see what the stewards want to do about that, and hopefully he can bump up a few positions. But yeah, very solid race. I was battling him for a few laps actually, and he had a lot of pace on his medium tyres, which is really nice to see. Now we're gonna jump to. Oh, we're gonna stick with these guys actually. We got a blue flag for someone. Who was getting a blue flag? It just came up on the screen. I was spectating Jan. I'm not sure why that came up, but Astro is really close behind Jan right now. Jan moving to the defensive line, and he's going back to the racing line. He's going into the braking zone. That is okay. You are allowed to do that as long as there's no sudden change of movement and the car's not too close behind. And Jan has extended that gap just a tenth as he's going through turn 3 right now. Really long right-hander where it's so easy to push your car wide, and if you go too wide, you may even get into that gravel trap, and you know how much time you lose in the gravel on GTS. Let's hope he's okay. And we're going to jump back down for this battle for 8th because Atomic has now dropped back behind Havoc. Havoc's another driver that left Spinorama Pro. He's found a new team, and he's looking really solid in that car right now. I'm not sure how many of these drivers today are going to be sandbagging either. So this is where, you know, they're not going to push their cars to the limit because they don't want to show other teams what kind of pace they have. That might be what we're seeing. The preseason doesn't count for anything other than really testing, so it doesn't count for anything from the champion perspective, but of course it is crucial for these teams to go out and test their car on track against other drivers. But we may see a bit of sandbagging here. VR's asking what car is Havoc in. He's actually in the Raven West Toyota, I believe. Again, someone correct me if I'm wrong, so I'm really not entirely 100% sure about these cars, but I'm doing my best. I think he's in the Toyota. Not sure of the model, but someone correct me. Now let's see if the replay function is still working. We're just going to watch Atomic take him at turn 10. Yeah, he gets right in front and Havoc is now behind. Replay function is still working great. It stopped working last race, unfortunately. I think it's the FT1. I think that's what I saw when they first started the race. But it's a very nice looking car. So VR, I'm just going to quickly cycle through all of the cars. Let me know which you think is the best. People are saying Spinorama and Tag Her have the best liveries. I'm going to go with Raven West. What do you think? So there's the Spinorama of Race Attain in first place. He's dropped down a bit. He's now only a second ahead. Bagpuss, did Iceman Kimmy pit? He did pit. Iceman Kimmy's pitted. Okay. There's the Volkswagen Bock and Calls of Bagpuss. There's the Tag Her Phoenix Race Lab. There's the Mustang of Team Default. There's the Raven West Toyota, and I think yeah, that's everyone in here. If I've missed someone, let me know. But yeah, I'm still going to go with Raven West. I think Max has done a really good job designing that livery. It's solid. It looks great. Right, so Race has pushed his gap up now to 1.8 seconds. As you see, he's just set fastest middle sector as well. His fastest lap was set on lap 2, which was a 1:44.617, and he has kept that fastest lap throughout this entire race, well, from lap 2, of course. So he is doing a pretty good job. He's now increased that gap to 2.4 seconds already. I'm not sure if Bagpuss is struggling, but he has got Iceman Kimmy chasing him, so let's jump to Iceman and see. He's still showing he's got a 0-second penalty. I'm not sure if they've just rounded that down too much. It might be like 0.01 or something like that, I don't know. But he's really close to the back of Bagpuss right now. I think we're about to see an overtake. Let's jump to the onboard and see how he does it. Now, Bagpuss is choosing the middle of the track. Again, we're getting blue flags. I'm not sure why that's popping up. VR saying the Spinorama livery is lid. I think you mean lit. If so, you're damn right. It's a very good looking car. Just the way that the green of the Patrona sits on that dark I think it's almost a really dark gunmetal grey or something underneath. It just contrasts so well. It looks really, really good. But there we go. Iceman Kimmy has got that move on Bagpuss, and now we've got Jan chasing Bagpuss as well. Let's jump to Jan and see how he can get on. Vilsec, how are you finding your team's performance today? Are they good? Are they bad? Not seen much of Likula this race either. Let's jump to him. He's in 9th. He's not done any practice. He's been practicing all day for his Division 1 debut for Season 3 that's happening in a few hours' time. But he's not looking too terrible. Again, he might just be taking it easy, getting used to the feel of the car. Feels like saying his team's doing quite well. That's good to hear. Are you in a party with them? If you are, let me know what kind of things they're saying. You say Racer Tay is an animal. He is 4 seconds ahead. You definitely had a good scout to be able to kind of claim him as your own there. I'm sure he's a valuable addition to the team, and he's really going to help you and Lika up your game too, I hope. But he's cut the corner slightly there, but didn't have all 4 wheels off track, hopefully. Excuse me a second. I'm going to jump back down to 4th right now. Actually, tell you what, I'll jump to 7th because it looks like Shane. So Shane's moved up to 7th. He's got his teammate Atomic in front of him right now. Bruma's absent today. We haven't seen him on the track. I'm not sure why. But again, Shane might be just sure. Shane and Atomic might just be doing all of the testing for him. And they're going to feed back to him the information later. But so far, I don't think there's been any surprises. If they are racing as fast as they can and no sandbagging's going on, then I think Team Default might be struggling a bit with their car because we're just not seeing the type of pace that we usually would if they were riding in the Porsche Season 1, for example. We're seeing some quite phenomenal pace from Bagpuss actually. Let me just see where he's dropped to. He's in 4th now. Yeah, Jan has got that overtake done on him. Sorry I missed that, guys. He's dropping down in 4th, but he's besting his teammates right now, anyway. And he looks anyway like he's a lot more in control of this car than he was the Porsche last season. And I think that's true for all drivers apart from Team Default. But again, they could just be sandbagging, or I could just have this completely wrong. I'm not sure. But they just don't look like they're as good as they were last season yet. Emphasis on yet. Vilsec saying his livery reminds him of the Merc F1 team. Well, duh. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's very nice. Right, let's see what's going on a bit further down the field. We've got Atomic in 6th. We've still got Shane behind his teammate Atomic in 8th. We've got Havoc in 7th. We've got Havoc in 8th right now in that Raven Western car. We've got Lika in 9th. We've got Maximus in 10th. Oh, Max getting a huge tank slapper as he's coming out of turn 12 there. Another one of these corners that you have to be really careful about. I think that corner's slightly off camber, so as it turns right, it dips down to the left slightly on the outside. And if you go a bit too wide there, you can upset the balance of the car, and you can almost get too much grip on the front of the car, which will cause the rear to slip out. So essentially just get a little bit of oversteer, but I think that's what we might have seen then. But he's chasing down Likula right now. We know these two are rivals both in GTS and in F1. We saw a great battle in F1 in OFR Season 1, or F1 IR Season 2, I can't quite remember which one it was now. We've seen them battle throughout their entire OFR careers, and hopefully we can see it again this season. Fred saying tank slapper. Yeah, that's what I thought I said. Did I say something different? I'm really tired today, guys, sorry. Yeah, it'd be great to see Max get a little bit closer to Lika and push him a little bit more. Now, we've got a little bit of a battle going on in, is that 5th place or is that 4th? Oh, it's Shane and Atomic. They've moved up into 5th and 6th. Not sure if someone's pitted there, but they are gaining now. Now, they're going to have to pit in around 3 laps time. Let's just quickly check what Atomic's fuel is like. He's got a little bit more wear and a little bit less fuel than Shane. Shane's gaining on him as well. Let's keep an eye on that gap. It's 0.6 seconds. Oh, and Atomic's gone deep, and that's going to give Shane the go-ahead to take that position. He's done it. Fred saying, no, he was, okay, good. Maybe I said something stupid. I always forget what I say. Sometimes I'll start a sentence and don't even know where I'm going to finish. But yeah, Atomic's just given that position away, and Shane's probably going to pull away a little bit. Let's see if he can. Now, Atomic does have a D1 race in a few hours' time, so as soon as he gets off this game, he's going to be jumping straight into F1, and he's probably going to be practicing for the next hour. Now, a little bit of drama for you guys. As you may or may not know, we do a lot of our league management communication in Discord. Atomic has been friendly with the likes of Lika, Vilsec, Maximus, myself, and so on. And there was a bit of an incident last week that saw Atomic have a little bit of a fallout with one of the drivers that I just mentioned. I won't say their name, but let's just say Atomic did not like it. And Atomic's now kind of said he's going to show these guys that he's the fastest on track in F1 this season. So he's teamed up with another fast driver, Anders. I think they were paired up last season, and they're both great drivers. They are the perfect teammates. They are the Hamilton Bottas of teammates. They are absolutely amazing. And Atomic is just said, bring it to the track. He doesn't want any of this drama off track. He wants to run his mouth on track. So let's see if something like that is going to unfold. But there's always drama going on, and it always seems to stem from Spinorama. Who knows why? Who knows? But yeah, there's some insider info for Atomic for you. Now, quickly just going to go over the teams for the D2 race that's going to be starting in around 30 minutes time, I believe. I'll just quickly go to the Discord announcements. GTS, here we are, Season 2 info. Right, so for D2, the first team we have Tag Her Vermilion Racing Team. That's going to have Tom, who was in Tag Her last season, and Philbab and Doc Coop, one of the new drivers there. And then we're going to have, I can't pronounce that, Fries Doro Golden Arrow Junior Team. So this is partners with Raven West, I believe. That's got Pitch Black, BJ Robbo, and Martin Bananas. We've then got the Spinorama Amateur Team, which is going to have Fifi, Bounty, and AJ in there. AJ's making his debut in GTS this season, nice to see. Then we've got the Rod and Pollux, same name as last season, with Ash, Grim, and Harley. Harley's going to go one of the new drivers there. And then we've got a new team called Gwen's Boys, that's going to be involving me, VR, who's in the chat, and the MVP from last season, who is, of course, our beloved Ruben. So there's an interesting lineup that's going to take place in around 30 minutes time, guys, so make sure you tune into that as well. Now, had enough of looking at that car. We've got Iceman Kimmy in first place right now. We have Race Tay, who's pitted, and he's picked up a 4/10 of a second penalty. Iceman Kimmy's going to come in this lap, or the next lap. He's just coming up to the hairpin at turn 10 now. So let's see if he's going to pit, and let's see where he comes out. I think he's going to come out. I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm not sure how long the pit stops here. I thought they were around 15 seconds, and if so, he's going to come out around 3 seconds behind us. But look at Shane. He's all the way up in third place. Shane is definitely pitting this lap. You can see he's got flashing red fuel. He's running out, and he's got a little bit of wear on those left tyres as well. He's got the softs on. And hopefully, this is a result of these new multipliers that we're using. So, Ash, you might be able to answer this better than me. Based on what you've seen so far, how do you think this new fuel and tyre multiplier is working out? Is it a good thing, is it a bad thing, or is it just too early to say, as we see Shane dive into the pits there? Now, we've got a big train of cars, from 7th all the way down to, I think, 11th place. Yeah, it is. We've got Havoc in 11th, who's pitted around 2 laps ago, I reckon, because he's got a little bit of wear on his tyres. We've then got his old teammate, Lika, really close behind Astro right now in the Raven West. We've then got Astro about 2 seconds. Oh, Astro's in, so that's going to give Lika the jump on him as Lika goes right round and jumps up. And we've got Atomic in the pits as well, so we've got a lot of drivers pitting right now. Where's Atomic going to come out in order? He's already out. He's already done his pit stop. There you go. He's come out in 5th. Shane, of course, pitted. He's come out in 4th place. Jan, who has also pitted as well, so he's come out in 3rd. Well done. And Iceman Kimmy is yet to pit, and Racer Tay is still going to jump him in the pits. And Racer Tay's gaining on him, actually. He was around 12.9, I think, and he's already down to 10.9, so he's gained 2 seconds just this lap. He's picked up an extra 3/10 of a penalty. 3/10 of a second penalty. I really can't speak to that. So he may have been a bit naughty somewhere. But as soon as Iceman comes in, which must be this lap, he's going to jump him. Let's have a look. And just coming down the back straight now, entry into the hairpin at turn 10, really tight left-hander. Always want to get early on the throttle here, but if you do that, you will push the car wide, so you have to be patient. It's almost like the hairpin at turn 6, I think, in Germany. So if you get early on the throttle, it's only downhill from there. But here he goes as he's coming up the final mini straight up into turn 13. He takes as much curve as he possibly can there to help his car rotate downhill into the chicane at 14 and 15. Racetay must be, Iceman Kimmy must be pitting. He's in the pits right now, and Racetay is going to fly past, I think, depending on how much fuel Iceman Kimmy puts in. Let's jump to Iceman Kimmy now and see. Still refueling. Yeah, he had a lot of wear on those tyres. Racetay has taken the lead. He's retaken the lead. He was always in position. There we go. So I'm going to jump back down to his battle for 6th place. Bagpuss is currently in the middle of it. He's going to get pressured from Lika pretty soon. Lika almost, I think he wanted to just give up on that chicane there and cut the corner. But he's still doing a good job. Bagpuss is doing a very decent job as well. One of the most unique liveries. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest, Bagpuss's livery, but it is definitely an eye catcher and definitely stands out. Not in a bad way. Definitely not in a bad way. Just point that out. He's looking good. He's looking very good. Now, I'm going to go down to last place as well, because we're not seeing lots of platypus. I'll jump up to Astra after this as well. I'm not seeing the heavy mechanical damage play a huge part in this race either. I expected it to be a bigger part, but again, maybe these drivers are just taking it easy. They're not fighting for points here, they're just trying to gain experience in their cars. And I imagine it will be a lot more aggressive when the actual season starts. So, you know, you're all going to have to just wait an extra week to tune in to the mayhem that will ensue starting Sunday next week. Lots of battles. We've got a lot of new drivers as well in D2 coming from F1 into GTS. It's not the easiest transition, let's say that. We're used to, you know, stopping power, the best stopping power in the world, you know, more than a jet engine when it lifts up its braking flaps. That's how strong the brakes are on these Formula 1 cars. And although they are so strong on some of these racing cars like these GR3 cars, they're just not anywhere close to stopping a car from 200 miles an hour like the Formula 1 cars do. The setups, the carbon fibre, the cooling they have in those brakes is phenomenal. They reach in excess of 1,000 degrees Celsius as they're going into some of these really tight corners. And it's just phenomenal, the engineering that goes into these cars. Platypus is struggling a little bit there. But another thing to point out is these cars obviously have a lot less downforce. What's going on with Platypus? Let's hope he can get back. Oh, it's just, I think he's waiting for a car to pass him there. Yes, he is. It's Racetay, race leader, who has just passed that blue flag there. But yeah, these cars obviously are not stuck to the ground as much as the Formula 1 cars are. They're not as low, they don't have as much magic going on in their aerodynamics, so it is a lot harder to turn into the corners at high speed and stuff like that. So it is quite a big transition. I imagine there's going to be lots of contact in the next race. I will promise. I will try to keep it as clean as I can. If I am racing, I'm not entirely sure if I am yet. Yeah, it would definitely be one to tune into if we do stream it. So hopefully you guys can tune into that as well. But Racetay's leading. Again, he's 5.1 seconds ahead of Iceman Kimmy right now. I think he's got the race win. We've just got 10 laps to go, including this one. We are on lap 16. And it's been a pretty calm race so far, but it's nice to see how these new guys are getting on with their new cars. Vilsek saying Tay is so fast. He is. We didn't really see him battle Shane and Brumer and Atomic last season. I think it's not good to base his pace today, to compare his pace today with Shane's, because I'm not sure how hard Shane and Atomic and Nico are pushing, etc. But he is fast. We will not take that away from him. He is very, very fast. He's lost a little bit to Iceman Kimmy, actually. Let's spectate him for a while. Let's jump to his onboard, actually. You can hear the tyres screeching so much in that game. I'm not sure if they've just overemphasized this, or whether or not the tyres are really losing that much grip and they are skidding through almost every single corner. But you can hear it, for example, in some of the slow corners too. Scotty's saying he's had to reset his console. And we've got the D2 lobby open as well, so I need to jump in that soon. So there's still a big battle going on for 6. I'm going to stick with these guys for now and see how they get on. Lika's pressuring Castle. Castle's actually got some... Oh, look at the damage on his car. He's got flashing front tyres, wheels. I'm not sure if that's the axle, the track rod, the roll bar. I'm not sure. But he will be suffering a lot with that car right now. Maybe that's why Lika is catching him so much. He's just taken out 2 tenths as he went through turns 6 and 7 there. He's chasing him now. He's going to have a huge slipstream down here. Castle's defending to the right side of the track. Lika's switched to the left to try and get a better run out of the corner. Castle's going to be a little bit later on the accelerator if he didn't get it turned in on time. But no, Castle's defending really well. But he's going to be coming into the pits, if not this lap, the lap after. Let's quickly see if Lika's got any damage. No, he doesn't. Lika needs to keep it cool. He needs to keep it cool. He's getting a little bit scruffy. He's coming out of turn 12 there. Through 13 they go, and now through the chicane at 14 and 15. Lika's dropped back. He's lost about 8 tenths because of that mistake he made there. He's going to have a lot to do to catch back up with him. We've also got a bit of a battle going on. Is that second? Third? Oh, it's Racer. Oh, Racer Tay has dropped down. Let me just maybe again miss that. Sorry guys. No, we missed it unfortunately. Racer Tay is all the way down. Oh no, he's not. He's put fresh tyres on. Is he just pitted? I think he's pitted to go to the end maybe. He has got some fresh rubber, and the guys in front do not. They're going to have to pit soon. So I think that's what it was. It's pitted. Okay, let's jump back to that battle between Lika then and see if he's closing on Castle. Lika's disappeared and he might have pitted. Let's see. He's in 11th, and he has pitted, yes. So let's ride with Castle now. Bagpuss is going to be closing him down. Oh, we've got a bit of a battle going on behind Bagpuss, actually, between Havoc and Maximus. Teammates here, with Max being the team captain, I believe. Let's hope they can keep it clean. Oh, Havoc getting a bit choppy as he goes through turn 5 there, and I think he's just let Max go there. Yes, he has, and Max is now going to try and hunt down Bagpuss if he can. Let's jump to Max and see how he gets on. So Max is one of the admins here. They'll say saying represent here, so you don't need to say that. Got a yellow flag up ahead as well. Overtaking is prohibited. Where's that? It might be just ahead of them. Let's see as they go around the corner. Is that someone? Oh, it is. It's Platypus moving out the way for the blue flags here. Platypus not having the best of races. Maybe he is again just still getting used to this car. We've got a big train of Raven West cars right here. Maximus, Havoc and Astro filling in the final points positions in 8th, 9th and 10th. He's arrived. How you doing? You looking forward to the next race, Rubs? I hope you are. MVP? Let's see when these Phoenix Race Lab cars are going to pit. Jan definitely has to pit this lap. Iceman can go another 2 laps, I think. Well, another lap and then pit on the second. One thing I'm not liking about the tag here is the numbers they've got in their door plate. I just think they should have followed a more square font with everything else that's on their car. The 9s look just a bit too curved. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but yeah, it's not as straight as every other contour or line on their car is. It kind of stands out a little bit there. But he's got look at Racer Tay. He's got Racer Tay right behind him. He's still here. Jan's going to be coming in now. I think Racer Tay's going to have a pit stop advantage on him almost. So there goes Jan, and Racer Tay is going to retake second place. Is Kimmy in the pits as well? No, Kimmy stayed out. So, and he's just 10 seconds ahead. So he's actually lost a second the last time this happened. Racer Tay was actually 11 seconds behind before he pitted. So Racer Tay is doing a great job. Going to jump up to this battle here for 6th place though, because again, Castle's almost got no fuel. He's going to run out. Is he going to make it to the pit stop without low fuel mode? You can see I can't even see a red line there. I've got my eyes right next to the monitor right now and I can't see any fuel in this car. Let's hope he doesn't run out. He's made it just, and that's going to allow Bagpuss to break away now. So Bagpuss reclaims 5th place. 6th place, sorry. And he's now got Max behind him, who's pressuring as Havoc comes into the pits too. Fastest lap is currently held by Shane now, a 1:43.944. Max is just about to make a move on Bagpuss inside line into turn 1. There's a bit of contact between them there, but not too much to cause any damage, thankfully. They're both clear. Let's just quickly check Max's rear. Yeah, Max's rear is also good, so no contact there. And Max has moved up into P6. I don't think he has what it takes to get Atomic right now, though, because you can see the gap is around 7.9 seconds, and I don't think Atomic has to pit again. No, he doesn't. He's just pitted, actually, and he's come out with half a tank of fuel, so that will definitely get him to the end. It's the last 5 laps of the race now, and I'm just going to quickly jump back down, because maybe it's like trying to fight back here. No, I think he's just a little bit too far behind. We're going to jump to Iceman Kimi there, because he will be coming into the pits now. I think he could go one more lap, and no, he's in the pits. He is in the pits. Race Tay is just coming through the chicane now. Let's see. Here he comes, flying around the final corner at turn 16, and I think he's going to take the lead here. Oh, it might be close. Let's have a look. He's jumped in, but is he going to warp now? He might do. Oh, it's close. It's close, but not as close as it was. You can see him there coming out of the pit lane. He's still about 4 seconds, I think, ahead. 3. Coming up with 3. As he goes through the first corner, it's 3.4. Okay. So, is Iceman going to be able to jump Race Tay here, or does Race Tay just have too much pace? We'll have to wait and see. Ash, if you're listening, go ahead and do the practice start without me. I think I'm starting near the back anyway, so you can just put me in last place. And if I get stuck, I'll just quit. I don't want to hold up the practice start for any of you guys, but it starts in 3 minutes' time. So we are in the final last laps now. Max is pitting. Is Max going to come out ahead of Lika? He is. He is. And now Havoc, an old teammate to Lika, is right behind him. He almost runs into the back of him there. I think he was being a little bit featherish on his brake pedal, trying to just ease up a little bit. They're now side by side, actually, as they're going through turn 3, and Havoc takes him. I think Havoc's got the inside line as they're coming up to turn 4 as well. Another long right-hander, a little bit tighter than 3, obviously, but if he has the inside line, he might be able to keep it. No, Lika is going for the switchback here. There's a bit of contact between these two. Oh, and he spins him, and Havoc is off the road. Oh, he's managed to keep it on. I don't know. Let's watch the replay of that. I don't know how Havoc managed to keep that on track there, but let's see. So they're coming in. Havoc has the inside line. Lika does the switchback, and I think Havoc was just closing the door a little bit too much there. Let's try and see it from Lika's on board, actually, and see. Let's just quickly jump to that now, and let's go back and watch it again. So you can see he does the switchback just as they enter turn 4. And, oh yeah, I think Havoc already started to spin there. I think Lika actually helped him out a fair bit, getting his car corrected, keeping him straight. Good job there, Lika. Very sportsmanlike of you. Yeah, I'm sure, Ash. Do the practice start without me. So let's check out the gap between Race to Tay. It's come down a bit. Remember, it was 3.3 seconds. And look at his tyre wear. Is he going to be able to keep Iceman Kimi behind? Iceman Kimi's tyres are better. Far better. And he has a bit less fuel as well. Did Race to Tay make a bit of a mistake in his strategy? He's gone very wide there. I think he's struggling. You can see those left tyres are about 33%, I would say. And of course, being a clockwise track, those left tyres are absolutely crucial. Look at that tank slapper there as he's coming out of the final corner at 16. Iceman could have him here. This could be it. Race to Tay has chosen the inside line. Iceman Kimi chose the outside, but then has jumped behind to get that slipstream. Now he has the toe. He's going to come out and get a huge whack of wind right on his windshield there. Is he going to be able to outbrake him? Not at the moment, but he's got the inside line now as they go. But then Race to Tay's going to get the inside as they go through turn 3. And Race to Tay's given up, actually. Or no, he's not given up, but he's had to concede that position there. And Iceman Kimmy takes the lead of the pre-season race here in OFR GTS Season 2. Good job there, Iceman. I'm just going to quickly look for some more battles. I think it's ninth. Yeah, it's 9th. We've got Astro. And we've got Castle fighting for 9th place right now. Castle's currently holding up the spot for the final points in the session. The back of Platypus, the blue marker, the back marker, who will be getting blue flags. And here comes Racer Tate as well. Racer Tate's dropped down 1.7 seconds here. I think Iceman just had a better strategy here today. Jumping Castle. Oh no, Castle's still holding on to 10th place. I think Astro jumped in. And they're about to start their second to last lap as well. The race leader is currently only at turn 9 actually, so yeah, we've got about 4 minutes left of this race. Shane trying to get the final podium spot. Now Jan here, Jan has a 8/10 penalty. That puts Shane just net 2 tenths behind. And it looks like Shane's catching him. Let's stick with these guys because they've only got a lap and a fifth to go. Currently, Shane is now under Jan's penalty time, so he's going to jump him if he can stay this close behind, or unless Jan serves his penalty, but then he's going to lose 7 tenths of a second. So Shane is just 5 tenths behind. Oh, and Jan goes a little bit deeper there as they go through turn 5. Shane getting a little bit sloppy as he's coming out 5, losing the rear slightly, and he's dropped down a little bit. He lost a 10th there because of that tank slapper. Shove there, but he was ghosting, so that was weird. Jan still has 6 tenths of his penalty to serve, and I'm going to quickly jump to the race leader, Iceman Kimmy. Oh no, he's not quite at the end yet. Let's just quickly jump back down and see if Shane can get Jan. As we see Iceman cross the line in first place. Good job, and Racer Tate taken second. Great pre-season race in D1 from you guys there. Oh, and Shane's jumped Jan. Jan's in the wall. Oh, what happened there? Let's have a look at the replay. We've got replays. Let's not forget that. The rest of the guys crossing the line. Sorry if I've missed anyone. We're going to jump to Atomic. He's going to finish in 5th place. Solid work there. Max, nice finish. 6th place in your new Toyota there. Good job to you as well. Well done. You can see how far behind they were. 24 seconds behind Atomic he was. Wow. And he's going to cross the line in 6th place. Bagpuss is going to take a solid 7th place. That's going to be 6 points too. Good job. And Lika, Spinorama Pro Team, finishing in 8th. Very close, Astro and Castle behind them also. Good job, guys. And last but not least, oh, Havoc spun. He spun on the final corner there. I think he just went a little bit too deep. I'm not sure which way round. He's trying to get his car pointing. There we go. He's pointing in the right direction now. And he's going to cross the line soon, I imagine. Here he comes. And he crosses the line. So that's it, guys. That's the pre-season 2 Division 1 race complete. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to be heading over to Division 2 now, so if you have the stream for that, you'll be notified in Discord. But thanks very much, guys, for tuning in. We'll just get a quick look at the final leaderboard, at the race winner. Sorry, Iceman Kimmy. There he is. He moved up 3 positions from his start there. So very good job. Well done, and that's the stream done. See you guys later.